Taste by Jordan Noble. The setting is an urban upscale restaurant with the beginning stages of a blizzard outside. There is a bar and several small tables filled. Thom sits at the bar. Susan hands over her coat and moves to the bar.
Good evening. Something to warm up?
Hi, no shit. It's murder out there.
Susan is occupied with winter accoutrement.
We appreciate you making the trek. How high is it now, would you say?
5 or 6, I'd say, and it's all powder. It'll get in your lungs if you're not careful. I feel like the reports keep getting worse every hour. Genesis?
Yeah, bomb cyclone. So aggressive. I feel like we never had to worry about this only a few years ago.
Which came first, these storms or that word? It's all a leftist hoax. All 6 inches of it every winter.
I hear you. So what brings you out in all of this, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm meeting someone. He picked. No offense, but this place is not my taste, honestly.
None taken.
It's not in my league.
Mine either.
So, what's going to make me look respectable when I hold it without undoing a week's work?
What do you do?
Public defender.
Bartender.
They shake hands.
I'm at your mercy. I don't really drink. Prosecco at parties, wine if it's handed to me. That's it. I'm a caffeine addict too. Hide it around the house, take it in public in opaque containers. I'd shoot it between my toes if I could.
Sir.
How long have you been waiting?
For a table?
Yes.
I have a reservation for 8.
Just here early for the...
Scotch.
Not my first choice for a non-drinker.
My father was a Scotch drinker. I still love the smell, but I just can't stomach it. May I?
Smell it?
Well, yes. Smells sugarier than I remember. Doers? What?
Cardew 27 single malt. I'll defend it to my death.
Susan sets the glass down carefully and slides it back to Thom.
Sorry, didn't mean to stick my nose in.
It's fine. It seems like a good nose. There are definite notes of caramel, honey, and also almond.
I just don't have that kind of palate. Some people taste oak in a wine, I taste grapes. I suppose I just haven't drunk enough wine to really tell the difference.
Well, maybe, but your experience won't change anything without desire. The saying is wrong. You can lead a horse and make him drink, but there's nothing in the world that can make him come back on his own if he can get water elsewhere. Path of least resistance is always going to win. You understand, it's all right. Truly tasting the wine isn't for everyone.
That's unflattering.
No, that wasn't my intent. I'm not always as clear as I'd like to be. Excuse me.
So, Prosecco?
Sure. Interesting man.
Old money buys a lot of leeway for eccentricity.
And snobbery. Really? Who is he?
If I knew, I'd lose a hefty tip for letting it slip. But he probably is. The suit, the hair, the taste. My guess is some Midwestern manufacturing company heir. 3rd generation, only ever sat in on board meetings like some less dusty bust of the turn of the century bearing who started a fortune. Probably lives half in Omaha, half in the hotels around the world, hanging out singles to bellhops and bartenders.
That's vivid.
I'm in a BFA program.
You know what? I bet you're right. Years ago, I worked at a hotel and my managers would always sweat when the strangest people would check in. Some of them looked like absolute trailer trash, but it would turn out they would own half our parent company. One night, this little round woman in a chenille sweater walked into the gift shop and told me to move the jewelry case to the other side of the room. Just demanded it, like she was asking for a tissue. I thought she was crazy. It was a 400-pound glass display case, 12 feet across the room. I came in the next day and they had moved it. My boss had also printed out a picture of her from somewhere and taped it to the back of the register. Or maybe the little round lady gave it to her. Anyway, I bet this guy's...
Prosecco?
Please, anything's fine. Some days take the decision-making right out of you. Thank you. So, Mr.
Stanhope.
Susan Lake, nice to meet you. What do you do, Mr. Stanhope?
Nothing worth the conversation, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sure that's not true.
The door opens, letting the cold air in with a gust, to which all react. He is directed to the bar by Sam.
Everybody has a story to tell, even CFOs, hedge fund managers, maritime lawyers.
Again, I'm sorry, but I usually enjoy my drink in silence. It's something of a ritual to me.
All right.
Thom? Hey, Thom! No joke, this place is incredible.
Wes, have a seat. Our table isn't ready yet.
Wes slides onto a stool between Thom and Susan and drops a few rubber-banded dollars onto the floor.
Oops. Excuse me, miss. Sorry. Just dropped something under your chair.
Oh.
It just jumped right out of my pocket. Thanks.
All right, Wes.
It's just a little sleight of hand.
What would you like to drink?
Drink. Oh, boy. What are you drinking?
It's an acquired taste.
Well, I don't know. Order for me. Where's the restroom?
Oh, past the plants on the right, there's a hallway.
Got it.
There goes your silence.
And he'll have an old-fashioned.
He seems like a talker. How about that weather?
Cold.
No kidding. I'm from the South originally, Virginia. We get snow sometimes, but it's never this bad. And you can pretty much count on getting above freezing again in a few days anyway, and it melts quickly enough. Doesn't stop people from driving like maniacs when we get a dusting. So all this is like Armageddon to me. Are you from the area?
No, I've found my ways of coping with the weather, though.
I should just count on adjusting no matter how bad it gets?
That's the most amazing thing about people, and the scariest.
Bartender rescuing Thom from her.
Can I ask, what took the decision-making out of you today?
Oh, work, of course. I work in arraignment court. Pulled a bad run of cases today.
What makes a bad case for you? Losing ones?
No, I don't like to think of it as winning or losing. A lot of people do, and that bugs me. But when it comes down to it, it's about fairness. For some people, a win is a little jail time and the reform that comes with it. It's my job to defend you, but if you fucking did it, there's only so much I'm going to do. For some, that's just what they need at that point. Not that the justice system is ideal. Some people do a little wrong, but would be destroyed by time. They'll go in a dumb kid who gets pulled into somebody else's fight and come out a murderer. Others wouldn't even feel 2 years upstate because they've lost all sense of what life can be when lived inside the law. I've dealt with people like that. But guilt and innocence are never absolutes. At least I've never seen it. Sometimes I'm in the business of interrogation. I've got to find out whether the person I'm representing is an asshole looking for an exception, or if he's got a legitimate claim to innocence, which more do than anyone would like to admit.
Isn't that the judge's job?
Yes, in the end, of course. Anyway, today it was all truly exceptional individuals, the chosen ones of petty crime, victims of a conspiracy of circumstance. The petty shit really gets me. The time, money, and man hours spent on just worthless events in which nobody's been really harmed, nobody's going to learn a goddamn lesson, and yet we take hours out of our lives to dissect whether Jimmy Ray deliberately knocked his neighbor's fence down or not, if Janice was negligent when she backed over the outdoor seating at the cafe she lives above, blah, 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 blah. Victims of a conspiracy of circumstance, and I have to pore over it all.
Yep. Bartenders see them before you do.
Especially the drunken disorderlies.
I used to. I've never seen one here. Not yet, anyway.
Ooh, is there fruit in it?
Not a picky drinker either, huh?
Nah, Tom is the fancy one. I'll be happy with domestic beer. But damn, this is good.
Wes, please, keep your voice down.
Gentlemen, your table is ready. Will you follow me?
Excuse us. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Tom and Wes follow Sam to a table and sit.
Will the gentlemen enjoy hearing specials tonight?
Please.
First, we have a wonderful plate of sausage calamari. We grind pork from our partners at Billings' Arrowhead Farm just north on Route 17, combine it with a pan-toasted fennel, garlic, and pimentón dulce paprika. That is bound within Boston legal calamari and grilled over coal.
Shh.
Next, we have grilled lamb chops with a porcini mustard sauce. The lamb is thoroughly rubbed with a paste of salt, garlic, and cracked Malabar peppercorns and rosemary from the chef's garden and grilled over an open flame. The sauce is a coarse blend of imported chèvre moutarde and porcini mushroom. Finally, if you are in search of something lighter this evening, you might select the cucumber mozzarella and farro salad. Chef Giami, again, harvests from his own garden for this dish. The freshest organic heirloom cucumber is paired with organic mash and basil of farro and imported cacio bufala mozzarella.
Tom?
We'll need a few minutes to decide. Thank you.
Of course. Take your time, gentlemen.
I don't know what half of that was.
Oh, it's poetry, Wes. Sometimes you don't need to know at all. You simply have to hear it to decide.
I see steak.
Cacio bufala mozzarella.
I like steak.
Charot moutarde.
Steak. Done.
Pimentón dulce paprika.
What about dessert?
You have no imagination.
What am I supposed to imagine?
Listen to the words and be inspired. Pimentón dulce paprika. Now, what does that make you think of?
Like word association. Okay. Pimington. Princeton? It's a private college. I went to community college for a minute. Private colleges are full of greedy white douchebags.
I told you to watch your language here. If you want to have dinner with me, you're going to have to be civilized.
All right.
And what was that with the wad of ones on the floor earlier?
Oh, I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
It made me look like money was no object.
It didn't.
Wes indicating the collection of ones.
Am I allowed to smoke in here? I could light up with one of them.
Oh, don't be stupid.
I was just kidding.
Just behave yourself.
As I was saying, private institutions are of higher education are full of young, selfish Caucasian men.
If you want a steak, that's fine. Take a look at the appetizers, though. We'll compromise there.
And look at the way his friend is folding the menu back on itself.
No, he's definitely not like the other one.
Is it a date?
He's a lot younger.
Sort of better looking, really, if you like that boho hipster thing I think he's going for, which I personally don't. Oh, is that what passes for a trophy date nowadays? Maybe it's something in the young LGBTQ community I'm not aware of. All my gay friends are old and out of touch.
Youth is youth. People will take it any way they can get it. I think that's the one thing you can't buy.
Love?
True.
You can get youth from synthetics and surgery.
A lot of people get love that way too.
Touché.
Anyway, I should probably stop talking about this guy. I talk too much for the manager's taste. I'm already on his radar.
I promise not to say anything about it if you don't. I'm having fun. I find this guy fascinating. I don't think I'm going to be able to let this go tonight.
Have we come to a decision?
Yes. We're going to start with the lemon and mint braised artichokes. Then I'll have the lamb chops, and my friend will have the American Wagyu tenderloin.
And we are doing just fine with drinks so far.
Yes, thank you.
Sam goes to Susan and ushers her over to the table next to Thom.
And we're waiting on just one more in your party, yes?
That's right. He should be here any minute.
Sam removes a place setting and a chair.
You said I could have the steak. What the hell did you order for me? What is a wagyu?
Steak. It's a Japanese breed of cow. Wes, you have to calm down. I only get one of these every 4 months or so, if I'm lucky. I don't have to tell you what the rest of my life is like. But this night in this restaurant is the shining flip side of that filthy, corroded railroad penny that is my life. I can relax here and just be a human being for a couple of hours. I wonder why you have such a hard time understanding that.
Everybody's human, Thom.
It's a sliding scale.
You think that these people are more human than me? Than us?
They eat like this every day.
That doesn't make them any more human. Better, they're just trying to hide what's really going on. That menu was trying real hard to hide what the food actually is. They couldn't even come out with it and actually call it steak or cow even. Why don't we just call it cow?
It comes down to discernment, Wes. Animals eat cows. Wolves would eat the flesh, the eyes, the cartilage. They digest hair and bone flakes, the mud caked on a cow's haunches, anything in the way of their teeth. Folks eat beef. They eat processed chuck. If it's red or pink until it cooks, it's good on bread with ketchup. They eat hot dogs with beef and pork and other miscellaneous other meat. It'll all do. Respectable people eat select cuts of beef from a particular breed of cattle raised on a strict diet. They eat Kobe and American Wagyu.
And then they get arrested.
Susan overhears this.
Wes, stop it. Not another word like that. Oh, this was a mistake.
No, it isn't. It was a really good idea. I never would have thought of it. You're mad about what I said about private college kids. You went to one, didn't you?
No, I didn't. And that's not what I meant. I was talking about bringing you here. I shouldn't have brought you with me.
Maybe.
You don't have the temperament.
Maybe we should have started with somewhere not as nice.
It doesn't work in anything less than a 2-star restaurant. I've tried it.
Why not?
Let's talk about something else.
Why?
Where are you from?
Milwaukee. Why doesn't it work in like a fast food place?
Fine. Just keep your voice down. 3 years ago, I was assaulted at a chain restaurant. I was walking toward the exit when the hostess stopped me. She was a sharp, sharp-edged little blonde thing, upward-pointing nose, chin like an ice pick, and beady little eyes. She pushed me back at arm's length with a menu. I assumed she didn't want to touch me. I figured out later that the waiter she called over must have been her boyfriend. I told him I would go outside with him if he wanted, but I swear he wanted to tear me apart. They have loudspeakers at some of those places to call for parties who've been waiting. He got on and called the manager, who paraded me through to the back of the restaurant, berating me, belittling me, calling me things so vile I'd never even heard them before.
That's nothing, man. Once outside a corner, I got jumped by these three big...
No, nobody was physically abusive beyond the girl with the menu. It wasn't about the physical assault.
It's always about the physical assault for me.
It was the mental and emotional toll. Sure, there were a few people who hid their faces and just tried to concentrate on their jalapeno wings and fun fries, but most stared in disgust. Some snickered. No one helped me. No one defended me. No, I wasn't in the right. I know that. But no one deserves to be treated that way as less than human. No, we are not equal, Wes.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
What?
You are equal in my eyes. You should be. You have the right to marry, of course, but that's not nearly enough, is it?
Excuse me?
I shouldn't have eavesdropped. I know. I'm sorry. But I was over here waiting for my date, and I caught on the tone of your voices, and I've overheard. Your story is just so heartbreaking.
We're not gay!
Oh.
Wes, forget it.
Then what?
Please, Miss Lake, I really just want to eat dinner in peace. It was not my intent to get your sympathy or even your attention.
Why were they staring? Why did you have to leave the restaurant?
Susan?
Mark?
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Shit. No. Hi. Sorry. It's nice to meet you too.
That's okay. Oh, are these friends of yours?
No, I just met them at the bar earlier.
Well, okay. Let me get you your chair.
Yeah, all right.
You know what? There's no way to say this that doesn't sound hokey, but your profile doesn't do you justice.
So why not at a fast food place then?
Thanks. That's nice.
I try.
Because you pay first at a fast food restaurant.
I was thinking of a bottle of something light. Maybe,
Oh my God.
What?
Money?
Excuse me?
Oh.
Susan
Excuse me.
moves to Tom's table.
Please, Miss Lake.
You didn't pay. Why?
You're leaving your date alone.
Still better than my last match. This is fine.
All right. This is question 1. I didn't have any money.
Question 2. Do you have any money today?
I do. You saw it.
Is that it?
I have nothing.
What are you going to do about the bill?
Nothing.
What if they call the police? This is theft of services.
Yep.
That was 4.
Of...
You get 5.
Do you want to get caught?
Yes. Now, Miss Lake, you promised to let me eat in peace.
Wait. You know that's probably 30 days in jail, if not more.
Gentlemen, your appetizer.
Oh, thank you. That smells absolutely incredible. Please compliment Chef if you get the chance.
I will. Enjoy.
Wes, you're going to eat that?
Miss Lake.
He can answer if he wants. Why do you do this?
Wes looks at Tom for approval. Tom stops him.
If I tell you, would you leave us alone?
I have to know.
Have you ever been to a shelter Not on a tour during the day, visiting the recently homeless with their suitcases on a stopover between houses, a storage unit snugged away somewhere with furniture. I mean, in the middle of the night, on a code blue like tonight, after the vans have been deployed to drag in every minimally sane, unwashed lifetimer in from the cold, when they've bribed and coerced every warm body they can find, stacked them in an old gymnasium, and given them 30 square feet of floor space to defend their every belonging in the world. No walls, no doors, just a cot, maybe a footlocker, and trust in your fellow man.
Homeless.
Have you ever been woken up by a rat chewing your pant leg, only to find a man defecating into a grocery bag by your head? I have. I couldn't blame him entirely. He was afraid to leave his duffel alone, and he couldn't take it with him to the bathroom. Theft is the norm, not the exception, and that grocery bag spent the night beneath his cot, while he smartly slept with his arms around the duffel. So every 30 to 180 days, instead of taking my chances in there or on the street, I come to a place like this, a 3-star restaurant, and I get out of the cold or the heat, and I have a dinner or a lunch. I drink in moderation. I put my napkin in my lap. I use my salad fork for my salad, etc. When our waiter, Sam, presents the check at the end of the night, I will politely tell him that I cannot pay because this is a civilized place. And because this is a civilized place where all accept the unwritten social contract of courtesy and order, he will speak discreetly with his manager. His voice will not rise to a shout. He won't sneer and deride us. The manager won't grab my lapels or my belt. Sam and I will wait here at this table until Sam informs me that the police are waiting for us outside. I will leave this restaurant as any man does. The police will take us to a secure room out of the elements, watched over by guards, where I'll wait for my release and a dinner as spectacular as this.
Oh. You do this a lot.
11 times.
And you, Wes? Sorry, I didn't hear you. You, Wes?
I think it's his first time.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
And you've been arrested?
Arrested twice. Never got me, though.
And you think Wes is going to be led politely out of the restaurant like you?
It's a civilized place. Let's stop talking about it, shall we?
Civilized how exactly?
There is a social contract of courtesy and order.
The law is the social contract, and you're breaking it.
I know. And we will gladly pay the price for breaking that law.
Yes, but it's not a price if you want to pay it.
Isn't it?
Word!
Wes.
The law exists to deter crime. If you want the punishment, it doesn't punish you. You're going to keep doing this forever.
I don't hear you describing anything that's my problem. There is a price to be paid for this meal. One way or another, I'll pay it.
Gentlemen, how are we finding everything?
Oh, this is excellent. These are artichokes?
It's wonderful.
Fantastic. And Chef appreciates your praise. Your entree should be out in just a few more minutes. Is there anything else I can do to make you more comfortable?
I can't imagine. Thank you.
Never had artichokes. These are amazing.
I could get you help. I have contacts in social services.
Ms. Lake, there's really nothing else to say.
Nobody wants to live like this. Not really. I could get you into a training program. You could get a job and break the cycle of homelessness and just...
I'd prefer not to.
Or a rehab program?
I'm not gay, and I am not an addict.
You don't understand my choices.
But I'm not homophobic either.
You don't understand my choices. I understand that. You never will. So I strongly urge you to quit now. Go back to your date.
No.
Mark quietly but with conviction gets up and leaves. Susan doesn't see it.
Ms. Lake, please. You're going to disturb the other guests. I don't want the scene.
Silence falls over the table. Wes still stews over the drug comment.
What is it? Is it the jacket?
And your weight, yes.
I got it from a thrift store.
Your buttons are on the right.
I knew something felt weird.
How do you know him?
Oh, we live next to each other. We're neighbors.
Where do you live?
At like a corner of 17th and General Bank.
And you trust him?
Well, he didn't have to invite me. It was a good plan.
For him? It's not right, but you know they're going to treat you differently.
Oh, of course. But we're together in this. We're gonna stand together.
Until the cuffs go on.
The Wagyu tenderloin and the lamb chops. Anything else for you, gentlemen?
You good, Tom?
No, thank you. This looks wonderful.
And will the lady be meeting her table?
Yes.
No, thank you. This looks wonderful.
Yes, I'm moving back. No, never mind.
Would you like to put in an order? I can ask the kitchen to rush.
What was that salad?
The cucumber farro and cacio bufala mozzarella.
Yeah, that's fine. I need to eat something.
Excellent.
That's nothing to you, isn't it?
What?
Not one item on the menu is under $30, and you ordered that without a thought.
It isn't nothing. I work long days for my money, so yes, I spend it where I like, legally.
You'll never understand, no matter how long you interrogate us.
Fuck no, I don't understand. Is this just what you do then? Constantly? How can you go back and forth from a jail cell for months on end to somewhere like this for a few hours? That would drive a person insane.
What is that salad? An hour of your workday, 30 minutes, neither of which you really tasted. Just like your wine with tastes of grapes. This plate is a quarter of a year of my life. That drink was 2 weeks. I savored every drop like it was its own sunrise. It meant that much to me. Life means that much to me. How do I go back and forth that way? I pay the price, so I experience things I could never have otherwise. I was born in a crumbling tenement, raised in a slum. All in all, I'm doing very well, Ms. Lake.
Ooh, cheers to that.
I can't let you do this. I won't let you do this.
You can't let me do this, Miss Lake. You do. Your justice system allows it. I can pay for my life how I like. I play by your rules.
The justice system exists to get everyone to abide by the laws, not to goad people into earning the consequences.
I'll ask a cop that.
Ask what?
Just saying, it's your perspective.
I know it's more dangerous for you, Wes. That's why I wish you wouldn't do this.
I should just go home? Guess what?
Wes, don't engage. Ms. Lake, you gave your word.
I did not. What's more, I took an oath to uphold the law. That's worth more than an offhand comment I may have inadvertently implied.
Your word. That's sad. Nevertheless, the law will have its due when I'm done. But no law has been broken yet.
Well, Then maybe I'll just pay for your meal.
All right.
Don't.
You can't stop me.
You would send me out into that weather.
Rather than have you steal from the restaurant? Yeah, I would.
I think this restaurant's profit margin is a little wider than 2 entrees, an appetizer, and a couple of drinks.
Wrong is wrong.
I thought guilt and innocence are never black and white.
I can judge the difference. It's too late to stop you from taking their services, but I can at least prevent their loss. And you still get to finish your meal in peace.
My peace was broken long ago. I don't want your money.
Too bad.
I won't let you pay for us.
Wes, you really shouldn't let him take you along with him. You and I both know that his punishment isn't yours. You're not going to be arraigned together. You won't be tried together. And he's going to be out faster than you.
That may be true, but Miss, like I've told you, I've been arrested before. You know how?
I want to know.
I was late for a shelter opening. They ran out of bed, so I had to get across town to the next one before they locked up. I was running through Chinatown with my bag of stuff over my shoulder, and it was hot too. It was crazy hot. I kept thinking about how hot it was with my plastic back, making me sweat down my shoulder, and it went crazy down my back. And somebody, when the officer clotheslined me, I was dripping. And when somebody, 5 miles away, it was on the radio, was breaking into a house. And apparently I fit the description. Guess it's my gait, right? I was tired. My bag was dripping again. So I was trying to just get to a bed because I got rounded up wherever I usually slept. I was running to stay out of the way of the police, so they picked me up for a run. I got an abrasion on my head from the sidewalk, and I sprained my wrists, and all I got was a paper bag to replace the trash bag. All in all, usually when it comes to this, I just get beat the shit out for nothing, just for going about my life. And in this case, maybe I'll get something out of the deal.
Is that it? You've never been arrested for something you actually did. Why start?
Because nobody can tell the difference.
I can. Thom, you have to know that punishments increase as your record grows. Don't add to it. Recidivism is a vicious cycle. Break the chain now.
Stop this.
Wes, I want to know more about how you ended up in this, and I want to help you get out of it.
No, you don't. You want to win.
I get it. People run into adversity. Many are disadvantaged. Some people, like Wes, have cards stacked against them. All of the cards. 2 decks' worth. There are a lot of these people, and some of them work. They put their heads down and they work even harder than I do. And they raise children to work hard and do what's right. The single moms with 4 jobs, the custodians living out of cars, migrant farmers on work visas sending money home to families out of the country, drivers working 14-hour shifts. Hell, my doormen are all from Haiti, and they share the basement of my building because they work for it. Those are the good people. Doing what you're doing, you'll never be one of them. You're not working for anything, not contributing to society at all. You're one of those people who believes himself to be exceptional, but is nothing more than a taker, a drain on the system. I don't want to win. I want Wes to win.
You have no idea.
No?
I'm trying to remain civil.
You're trying to hide, like any thief.
Please, stop. Don't make a scene.
Take the money and let me get you into a training program.
I can't.
Then get up and walk out.
No, I have never dined and dashed, and I won't start now. Don't make a scene.
That's an illusion, Tom. This thing you believe about courtesy, respect, nobody here thinks anything different than the people from your story. You're assigning value to what? The finishings on the wall, the thread count on the napkins, the names of the ingredients? But it makes no difference to what these people will think of you and what you're doing. All they're going to do is try harder to ignore your presence. They won't treat you with respect. They'll never really see you as one of them. They'll keep you at enough of a distance that they can pretend that it's not happening. That's where their money gets them. And that allows you to tell yourself that you're different from some dumb kid ditching a bill at a diner.
I want to split the check.
Oh, Wes.
No offense, Tom. No offense.
Good, Wes, I'll get yours.
Even if I sat here and told you my entire life story, I could tell you things you've never imagined, never thought to read about, never heard about on the news. You might sigh with your eyes watery and make promises to cut a larger check to your church this year. The next day, the euphoria would drip dry, and you forget all over again, never having understood because you don't really feel anything. You have no empathy. Empathy takes time, you know, Miss Lake. Effort. It's hard, and it hurts to have empathy for those who truly need it, and it takes longer than the length of a 5K or a brief hearing. So you will never understand. She will never understand, Wes. She'll lose interest, and you'll be back on the street. So instead of parading your virtue in front of us, let me finish my dinner and stop trying to change the way I've chosen to live my life.
Is everything all right, gentlemen? Ma'am?
I'm all right. Tom?
I am not able to pay for this meal.
I'm sorry?
I have no money.
Oh, if you've forgotten your wallet, sir, there are things we can do. Trust me, it happens more often than you'd think. Most credit companies will handle these things over the phone if you're able to remember a PIN or other identifying information. There's a phone I can bring to the table if you need it. Shall I, or do you have your cell?
Please, let me be as clear as I can with you. I have no way, credit, check, nor cash, with which I can pay for the meal I've just eaten.
None of you has cash or credit with you?
I do. I'm paying for myself and Wes here.
But she is not paying for me.
Well, I'm going to need you all to sort out your personal dispute discreetly, please.
No. There is no personal dispute.
I offered.
So I am putting...
No,
You don't want...
I don't know this woman. I came in here without money and with no intent to pay for this meal.
But I will pay for it.
And you?
I'm with her now. Well, not with.
But not you.
No, I want you to call the police.
Don't.
Look, folks.
If you pay for this, I'm just going to do the same thing again tomorrow morning.
You can lead a horse, huh?
There's nothing you can do.
It's your decision to make.
It's the only decision left me.
Even after all I've offered?
It is when I can't trust you.
It's your twisted prerogative.
It's called free will, Ms. Lake.
And it's your white privilege to live through this garbage behavior.
Meanwhile, I will take your credit card, ma'am, and I'm going to put the entire table on it like you said. You two can finish your meal, but you will not be welcome here again. Do you all understand?
I hear you.
Yeah, there was never much of a chance in my repeat business here anyway.
Sir?
I understand.
I'd like that salad wrapped up, please. Wes, I'm going to give you my business card. I want you to call me first thing tomorrow. Do you have somewhere to stay tonight?
Well, the plan was...
I'm going to get a cab. Let me give you a ride to a shelter. We'll work on getting you out of there just as soon as we can.
Okay.
You have just taken everything from me.
Oh, please. Don't be so dramatic. I just paid for your dinner.
Exactly.
Come with us, Tom. Share the cab. Move now. While you still can.
I would prefer not to.
What are you going to do?
I'm not going to do anything. I'm doing nothing. I'm going to sit here and try to enjoy the rest of these lamb chops. And then I'm going to spend the night in a warm cell.
Ma'am?
Thank you. Wes, let's go.
Luck, man.
Tom acknowledges Wes's farewell. Susan and Wes exit. Again react to the all again react to the gust of cold. Tom picks at his food, sets the fork and knife down, waits.
Sir, your party has left.
They have. Yes, they have.
Sir, I need to clear this table for other guests.
I'm not done.
Look, if you're not going to eat that, you're going to have to leave.
Or else what?